Andreas Krieg joins us now. He's an assistant professor at the School of Security Studies at King's College London. Great to have you on the show. Help us understand what is happening here in the House of Saud. What is the Crown Prince doing?
Hi. Yeah, I mean, the Saudi family business is in very severe crisis and has been ever since 2017, and the latest with Mohammed bin Salman cracking down on opposition, trying to really unbalance some of that kind of balancing act that it always is to manage that type of family. The problem here is that over the last year or so, Mohammed bin Salman has really seen more and more challenges to his rule from inside the family. Obviously, all of it hasn't really taken place in the public. Most of it has been in private. But we've seen even rift between the office of his father, the King Salman, and his own office over some of his foreign policy and domestic policy decisions. So, and that all comes amid obviously deteriorating economic numbers and economic figures. We shouldn't, obviously, the coronavirus. We shouldn't also forget here that Saudi Arabia finds itself in a very severe macroeconomic crisis domestically, failure to attract business, failure to implement Vision 2030. And now the coronavirus will hit. It will deteriorate economics. And at the same time, the metric that will be used to actually assess whether Mohammed bin Salman is actually fit to rule, particularly within that family business of Al Saud family, will be economics. You know, is he able to deliver on his promises? So leaving all the foreign policy adventures to one side, which is Yemen, the Qatar crisis, Lebanon crisis, the Khashoggi affair, obviously not to forget, leaving that to one side, the economic issues, which will be the metrics that will be used to determine his success, are not looking very good.
Okay.
So in this kind of context, Mohammed bin Salman is trying to consolidate his power.
But you say that this metric now, the lens will be on him to see if he can tackle these economic challenges. But really, even if he can't, who can stop him?
Right. This is one of the ongoing debates. To what extent has he actually been able to consolidate power over the last 2 years, 2.5 years? And we've seen and these two in particular, Mohammed bin Nayef and probably more importantly, Prince Ahmed, have been outspoken critics of Mohammed bin Salman and his fitness to rule. Both of them still play, even though, being silenced and sidelined for the last, 18 months, 24 months, still have quite a lot of wasta, as we say, a lot of respect within their local constituencies, particularly the Nayefs in the intelligence sector. So these people can still mobilize, if they wanted to, mobilize against the Crown Prince once the king dies. So if we're now going, and I think 2020 is going to be that year of Saudi transition, if we going down that route of transition, then Mohammed bin Salman needs to make sure that those people don't start mobilizing their constituencies against him. And I think it was an act of intimidation, making sure that they will not move. Because we shouldn't forget one thing. At the moment, nothing has happened against Mohammed bin Salman because people give him the moment of doubt, seeing whether he can actually deliver. And secondly, King Salman and his authority, his legitimacy as the king, his aura, his charisma is still there to protect his son. Once he's gone, it will be a different ball game. And I think a lot of analysts are looking at it and saying maybe that transition isn't actually yet a done deal. And I think this is part of an intimidation, saying, I'm still in charge. I'm the guy. I'm going to catch this throne, and there's nothing you can do about it. But we'll have to see about that, whether this intimidation actually works.
And that sense of, what can anyone do? That really does seem to prevail, given what we saw after the Jamal Khashoggi affair. So, given that, I don't know if we can call it impunity, both, who can put pressure on Mohammed bin Salman?
First and foremost, it was his father who'd actually put pressure on him. There, a lot of critical voices against Mohammed bin Salman around the court of the king actually advised the court, the father, the King Salman, to actually make sure that his increasingly unhinged crown prince and son, Mohammed bin Salman, doesn't get more freedom of maneuver. And he obviously had to cut back on some of his key advisors. A lot of his wings were cut left, right, and centre. The cabinet has been reshuffled twice now, which seems to be a concession towards King Salman's court. and that can further develop. So the biggest critic has been his father and those people around the old guard that are behind the father's throne. So if the father is no longer there, who says that the old guard cannot move? They are saying for now they're willing to keep the peace. Mohammed bin Salman says, I don't care about keeping the peace because moving forward, he has nothing to lose. He says himself, if I can't be on the throne, what else do I have to lose? He doesn't really care about his reputation and the reputation of his country. And I think that's part of the problem because he becomes increasingly reckless until he's on the throne. And until he's on the throne, everything can still happen.
Andreas, pleasure to speak to you. Andreas Krieg joining us from King's College London. Thank you so much. All right.